Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards, where we take a look at your favorite shows from Star Trek, your favorite tech, and we break it down and we need to talk about it. And this week, we got something interesting to talk about because in the last episode of Discovery, the Discovery went into the mycelial network, at least half of it, and it kind of got damaged, maybe, we think? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, which we've agreed is a cool visual. Don't think it quite makes sense. But I mean, it's sci-fi, so I mean,
Yeah. As we know, it was a big plot point that as soon as the ship went in, the ship was going to start being attacked by the mycelial network organisms, whatever. And tritanium, that the hull is made of, is not their favorite food. But so it take about an hour to get through the hull.
Shall I quote the line that Burnham says? And this
Absolutely.
This is the ticking clock of the episode, right? Which a lot of episodes have. They give a sense of danger, a sense of whatever, and that is theoretically the crux of why, because they see Tilly instantly. It is very quick, and they see Hugh very relatively quickly as well. So that ticking clock gives it the sense of drama. The mycelia will attack the ship, decompose it as soon as we enter. Like I said, the titanium isn't their favourite food, and we have 1 hour until they eat through the hull. Very specific, decompose and eat through the hull. Now what does that imply to you? At that start of that moment, what does that imply to you would happen?
That they would spore in, and they'd be perfectly fine within the ship until they broke through the hull, which would have been at least an hour. But that's not really what happens, because they spore in, and then anybody that's watched Stranger Things knows that half the ship interior becomes the upside down. And it's interesting, they knew that was going to happen beforehand, or they're at least taking precautions against it should they get through the hull, is what I thought originally, because they were sending people to the other side of the ship. They were, so they knew that was gonna. There's danger there at least. I didn't think it would be immediate danger. I thought it'd be if within the hour, or if their estimates are a little off, we need to have people on the other side of the ship just to be safe. But as soon as they spore in, I mean, they almost immediately get on Discovery. Or the mirrored in, the mycelial network version of Discovery. And you can see there's like elements where it's like dripping through the ship, and it's broken through already in certain areas, and it's going to decompose everything it touches. That was the exact quote. There are bed sheets, there are chairs made of leather, there's so many other things on that ship that if this stuff came in contact with, would be destroyed. So half the ship should pretty much be gutted if it was actually getting in through the ship. So,
And if you look at the visual, and you mentioned this after recording, as soon as they jump and they're in the containment chamber, which I'm not quite sure how it works as an airlock, but we'll talk about, I'm sure, later. Half of the room is now spore filled already.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's how they walk in. So it's already inside the hull. It stays exact same place in that room, despite the room, and we can see a scene later on, despite the ship being pulled in quite drastically more.
Yeah.
Didn't tell the VFX department that, whatever. So it is already inside the hull, and then we see it as the episode progresses. It gets onto the bridge, and as the ship gets pulled in by the network, it sort of fills up the bridge. But as soon as they are able to jump out, the bridge returns to completely a normal situation. So there was no decomposing, no destruction factor inside the bits that it got in. Now, if you watch the show, you do see, so the idea of what's decomposing it, it's actually the creatures, the alien. It's not the realm itself. And they try it with Tilly, and they say don't do it. They never try with Stamets or Burnham for some reason.
I got to point out, I wrote down a line from the episode. It says, mycelium has infiltrated 78% of the exposed hull. That means that the amount of hull that was inside the mycelial network, 78% of that was compromised. That's how that line comes out to me. I made a point of writing that line down.
Because it's danger. We're building danger.
Yes. But it seemed to be coming right through the hull. And we made this point before we started filming. titanium, yes, it'll take an hour. But what about the windows? Transparent aluminum, whatever they're made of, that's different. And when it spores out later, there is damage to the hull. It appears like it did corrode the hull somewhat because there's black, scars on it. Whether they keep that for the next episode, I'm not sure. But you made the point of the blinky lights. They're not titanium. They're still fine. There would be so many other damaged elements or ways that stuff could get into the ship. I assume it got in through, a window. It breaks down transparent aluminum in 10 minutes as opposed to an hour. It's a very...
Well, yeah. If you break down what's actually happening thematically, so the spore network is a interdimensional because it exists in both universes, Mirror and Prime. It existed in all time because they were able to use the network to travel forward in time from Mirror time point to the future of Prime. And all the universe because you can travel from any point to any point. So it's a completely everything thing, right? But it is not alive. It's beyond the universal organic nature of it. But there are life forms inside of this network, which are those little spore flying creatures. Okay, that's the setup. And in last episode, they said that every time they jump, it damages their realm, their world. Okay, setup. There we go. So now Discovery is the villain. Stamets is the head of that villain, as May was trying to do the message, right? But also beyond that, there's this creature which is Hugh, which is actively killing creatures because it's defending itself, and although not as bad as the plague in season 1 that Mirror Stamets did, that no one mentioned, even though it killed a lot of the Spore Driver network was dying. But oh well, we'll ignore that. So therefore, these creatures, which May is a one of, are trying to destroy the Discovery. And they have intelligence and understanding, and they know this is the threat. So if you can destroy the thing that's been killing, it also takes an hour, so being in the Spore network for those milliseconds, Stamets says, isn't enough to corrode the hull. So they're actively doing something. It's not just a reaction. Stamets did say that it's like defeating a foreign agent. But we know they're sentient. We know they're conscious when they're living. So wouldn't the spores, the life forms, what did I call them earlier? I wrote it down, the Jessup, I don't know. Why wouldn't they break down the window, go through the window, and then break down the warp core, disable the ship? You've won. Because we do see that May can be inside the ship, so you can just sort of walk in, and she's still a spore creature, even just in a weird form, and she does command them to bzz Tilly so she can get the rifle. So they are inside the ship. So why aren't they...
Did she command them to do that, or was that just something that happened on a fluke?
I know if you watch it, she's like, and then you really think it was a weird timing that she got bzzz and had the rifle to... But either way, they are now inside the ship, the creatures, and they have got inside the ship, and at the right time, they do a right thing. So why are they not disabling the ship? Why are they not... Okay, they can't kill the people, because the people are on the other side, that's fine, but they can still disintegrate all the things that aren't titanium, which is going to be a lot of the core stuff. Why can't they disable the dilithium? All the important stuff. They're smart. They know the universe. They've presumably scanned the Discovery in its hundreds of jumps in the universe. But what do we see when it jumps out? What do we really see after spending over an hour, because the Section 31 ship pulls them out, keeps them out, so they're over an hour. That's definitely the implication. Or the Spore network is eating them quicker, which would mean less than an hour, which would mean they should be more damaged. They should have already got through the hull. But what do we see at the end?
Well, I never got the sense that it was an hour, first of all.
Okay.
I think it was pulling them in, and they didn't expect that.
Right.
So the whole ship would have been exposed, and all the crew would have died because they would have touched the mycelial plane.
Okay.
But yeah, when it comes out, we do see that there is damage or scarring to the secondary or to the hull that was in the network, which gets attacked right away. Whether that's burns or whether that's the actual spores that are left over, I don't know.
But it's superficial, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. But I never got the sense that it was an hour.
Okay, no, I like that. Yeah, that's a good point, because if the network's pulling them in, which is what they do, that's a secondary threat, I suppose. They just didn't get through the hull, even though they did get through the hull. But I think the only way you can rationalize it is that the spore creatures didn't have their hour, but the network is pulling them in. I mean, it's a weird thing to do a half jump. So I'm assuming that it's like, well, now we've got a scar in the fabric of our reality. We're going to close the scar by pulling it in. That's fine. And so they had like 30 minutes. They hadn't done the process yet, but we do see them inside the ship. So some had got in through holes, but they weren't doing a coordinated attack, I guess.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. That's where it gets kind of sketchy.
It felt like an obvious thing for the end of the episode, them to despore, and like you just see burns on everything, you see damage, you see rips to the hull, like you see a real like year of hell. It felt like such a year of hell moment of as the ship, you know, especially since we've been given the visual of the ship is now underwater, being in the network, like the visual is there that we've lost the ship, and yet ship's fine. You know, that's why the ticking clock doesn't work when there's no sort of repercussions of it in a way. I don't know. Bit weird. Bit weird, Stuart.
Yeah, it wasn't explained very well, but that happens a lot of times in sci-fi. It's...
Oh, and we do know... Sorry, I just started playing it again on my other monitor. When, you know, the epic climax where we see Stamets and Hugh, and there is still that both parts of the room, but there are spores now eating Hugh. That's in the scene. They're not eating Burnham or Thingy for some who knows reason, but they're actually inside the ship. They are eating him. So they're definitely inside the hull, doing their thing, and yet,
yeah, man, I don't know what to tell you.
And why won't they start killing
everyone?
Well, just you know, Burnham and
yeah,
especially the guy that's been doing the jumps that May knew. He'd be public enemy number 1, wouldn't he? He's in our network. Let's eat him. Brilliant. Yes. So
interesting point.
I mean, it's one of those things where lots of Trek does this, but it doesn't make this right either.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's sort of formed a little bit stronger. But it's one of those things like, I mean, not a good episode obviously, but masks. I quite like masks in TNG, but how, you know, a ship can get completely transformed and then untransformed. It's like, but is matter getting okay, that was a bit more explained at least because it was a thing, or like with Threshold, and you know, transforming into space future humans, and then they're back. It's like, really? Really? Is that what you're gonna say with this? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So we're not picking on Discovery, guys. We point this stuff out with all Trek. It's got its good and its bad, but anyway. This was just the freshest thing, and we thought we'd talk about it. So
I think it was a good discussion. It's always fun to talk through these things with you because we have different minds in this episode, but we have a very broad understanding of Trek. So it's fun to think, and I think I'm a bit more. I think we thought it through more than they did, and I feel better because of it at the end. So
well, there you go.
There we go.
And we also have our excellent Trekyards collective who's been watching this. If you guys want to put in your comments or thoughts below, what do you think about the mycelial network and how it attacked the ship? Was it done properly? Was it done not so great? Is there ways you think it could be explained or improved upon? Mm-hmm. Let us know in the comments section. We love reading those kind of things. Or join us over on our social media, Facebook and Discord. The links for those are all in the description below, as well as some other really cool stuff, so check out the description. And as always, guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification icon. It's all very important stuff.
And do watch our other videos. We do them each week about multiple small Discovery topics, as well as our big review and our big analytical breakdown. So go watch those as well, because your view, your comment, your like, your subscribe all mean a lot to us, beyond just the donations you could do each and every month, one of which is Patreon, which a lot of YouTubers use. A bit of money each month make a huge difference, and it's been going down a bit recently for us, but we always try and produce the same amount of content, if not more, than previous times. So we need that support to at least be stable, if not more. So if you can support, please do. What other ways, Stuart, can they actually assist directly with funds?
By joining us on our Super Chats. We do a number of Super Chats live videos each week. And if you want to join and have your voice heard and have conversations back and forth with us, Super Chats are a great way to do it. It's just you donate, you get your message or your question seen and read out loud on the air, and we get to interact with you guys. That's a great way to help us as well.
Fun as well.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. And the Teespring, which is a thing that Stuart set up, where you can buy genuine Trekyards merch, which is really cool. Things like pillows and mugs and shirts and hoodies and really cool things. What else, Stuart? What other ways? We've got a few to help.
I don't know. I'm lost. I forget what you said.
Eagle Moth.
Oh. There's also a link down in the description below. As I said, lots of cool stuff down there. To Eagle Moss. If you head on over to the Eagle Moss site, every Friday I do Eagle Moss reviews of the ship models. Yeah, we are the ship guys. We are the tech guys. So it's a great partnership. You can click the link, go fill up your cart with some cool Eagle Moss ships, and use the discount code Trekyards at checkout to save yourself some money. So we got a good partnership with them, and it's worth checking out if you haven't.
It's a long outro, but there's a lot of ways to support this channel. We do all of our content is free. None of it's behind a paywall. None of it is behind you must pay to watch. Nothing, because people support us voluntarily each and every week. So if you can, please do, and we want to do more. It's always our aim and better.
Absolutely. That's it. That's the end of our discussion. So thank you very much, guys. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Kungs.
Until next time, bye, everybody.
Bye.